Welcome back to the Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur Podcast. It's your host, Cassandra Rosa. I'm a certified coach and healer and intuitive business coach, and the mission behind this podcast is to help you to create a fulfilling life and business. Today, I'm excited to speak with Valerie Seolas about the shaman's approach to the mind-body connection. Welcome back to the podcast, everyone. I'm so excited to have Valerie here today. She's going to be talking about the mind-body connection and how to incorporate that into your life as an entrepreneur to allow you to transform your life and create the life that you love. And I really want to thank you, Valerie, for coming on. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Thank you. It's so great to be here.
Yes, I'm excited to introduce you to Valerie. She's a shamanic practitioner and is passionate about helping people learn how to connect deeply to their bodies, discovering their most authentic truth so that they can come into their inner union and express the highest version of their self to the world. She's a guide in the process of shedding versions of self that are no longer true, traversing the shadow realms in order to see what is no longer in alignment and serving and come into a full expression of the highest truth of who you truly are. This healing process brings vitality and allows us to create life from the truth of our soul. We are then awakened to our highest capacities, which enlivens our way of moving and creating the world in a soul conscious and aligned way. She is a curious seeker of truth and loves to delve into the deeper mysteries of life. I have chills when I'm reading your bio. It's such a beautiful and profound way to explain what you do. So thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Thank you. I love what I do. It's been such a fun path to get here.
Yeah, I feel the passion. I'm excited to learn more about your journey. So we had a little bit of tech difficulties, so we had to regroup, but we're here. I'm so excited to continue our conversation. So Valerie, this is called the Fulfilled Female Entrepreneur Podcast. So I would love to know, what does fulfillment mean to you?
Yes, thank you. That's a great question. For me, fulfillment is when I get to do the things that I love, that light me up, that feel very soul aligned, that have like that deeper purpose that I'm here to do. Um, I get to connect with people in a very authentic way and help improve their lives. Really, that's why I'm called to what I'm doing. But there's always that soul component of it where I really feel it on that soul level, where it's not just like a cool experience. It's like everything comes alive because of it.
Yes, I love that. And I know that feeling so deeply. And I love in your answer how it's very reciprocal. It's about doing that purpose, helping other people, but also that reciprocal connection of how that feels for you on the receiving end as well, which is so powerful. So, I would love to learn a little bit more about your journey of what has led you to become a shamanic practitioner. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, for sure. So I got my bachelor's degree in health promotions. So I've always been very interested in health and wellness. And at the same time, I was in university, I went to massage school. Well, I did an apprenticeship and got my massage therapy license. So that's like my roots is massage therapy of working with the body. And over the years, well, so then I got my massage therapy license and then I had my kids. And so I wasn't working for a while. I was working at home, but over the time, I was learning about energetics. I was learning about yoga. Like I taught yoga for 12 years. I was learning how the body holds emotion, how it can express as different symptoms that we feel when we don't work through emotions. We actually store it in our bodies. Um, I was drawn to family constellations, which is all about the family system and how ancestral patterns play out through unhealed trauma, through coping skills, through even memories that we can sometimes have that we don't quite understand. So there were all these pieces that just kept lighting me up. And then about 10 years ago, I stepped back into massage therapy as my full-time thing, but I had so much experience with all of these other things and started to recognize that massage is great. It has a place. It's a lot of us don't take the time to relax. And so that is so important. And also, I like to get to the root of things. And so if someone kept coming in with the same problem over and over again, it was like, okay, let's look at this. What's at the root of this? Why is it that you have this chronic neck issue? Or why is it that your low back is always going out or hurting? What's at the root of it? Um, so that kind of started coming through authentically in my practice. And then I heard about shamanic work and went to my first medicine wheel. It was very much that loud soul calling of just like everything on my path was always something like that internal knowing of this is the thing. And so went to my first medicine wheel, and it was like, oh yeah, I'm home. Like this is my thing. And it's this beautiful system of healing that holds the mythical in it, and also a lot of the things that I'd been drawn to over the years, and helps you be empowered in this healing process of really becoming more authentic to who you are, a conscious creator, aligned on your soul's path, releasing those things that just start to feel really heavy in life that keep us from really finding that fulfillment. And so it's been about 2 years now. I went through shamanic practitioner training 2 years ago, and just have been incorporating it into my business as an offering. And it's just beautiful work to do with people. And there's so many doorways in to help people approach it to where they're at in their own life and what they're working with and what needs to be looked at. So yeah, that's kind of the quick cliff notes of my journey.
I love that. I love that there's been so many layers, there's been so many modalities, and how it's created this ability for you to have this holistic picture of seeing that it's more than what's on the surface, right? Ah, I have neck pain. Actually, there's more to this
Right.
and to unpack. And it's interesting. I had this image come through so random of like an artichoke, right? It's like on the outside layer of it, you kind of see, the physical symptoms, and then you peeled back the layers of incorporating the soul pieces and the mindset and the emotions to really get to the heart of the issue and get to the root, which is really powerful. And I know that we had spoke before we started recording here about the importance of integrating the knowledge
Yeah.
and going deep to the root to get to the real causes of things to create that lasting transformation. And you spoke about a medicine wheel, and I'm curious for myself too. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and what that entails and that experience?
Yes, absolutely. So the lineage that I study is from Peru. It's from the Andean people that they live up in the mountains, the Quechuan people. It was brought to the United States by a man named Alberto Vallaldo. And so it has it's his like experience with the Peruvian people and how he holds the medicine. So that's the beautiful thing about shamanic paths is it's taught from teacher to student, and it's something that's alive and it evolves based on who's holding the medicine. And that's why I was so drawn to it is the medicine wheel itself. What the program I went through was a year-long program. It's transformational, personal transformational program. And it's we met like once a month every quarter. So you would go through, and it's the medicine wheel is the 4 directions, and you're working in each direction for the specific medicine that it holds and the gifts that come from it. Each direction has an animal archetype that you work with as your guide. And so going through this year-long program, you start in the South, which is all about your relationship with yourself, the identities that you've taken on, the ways like the archetype is the snake, Sachamama, and the snake's medicine is shedding its skin so it can grow. So applying that to our lives, where have we identified in life that is restricting us from growing? What are we holding on to that's no longer true in the way that we are holding identity, or like roles in our families, or the type of work we've done, or old wounding even can become an identification. So that's the work of the South. The West is all about the shadow realms. It's about getting into the unconscious. What are we holding there that's affecting the ways we relate with ourselves and others? It's delving into the unseen to bring it up to the conscious level of awareness so that we can really start to be empowered in the choices we make. It's looking at the things that we've imprinted on through our family systems, through culture, through even past lives. We find that the karmic stuff that we bring, that's all in the West. And the animal archetype is the jaguar or otorango. In the North, it's Seracente, the hummingbird is the archetype, and that's about aligning with our soul's journey. How do we really come into that full soul's expression and live it? How do we embody it? How do we express it through the work that we do, the ways we identify in the world? It's just coming into that higher place of alignment that's in that soul's knowing. It's also the place of the unknown, like oh my goodness, the hummingbird takes that journey into the unknown. They know they need to go across vast oceans. They don't know where they're going to stop and eat, but they just go because the soul is calling them to go. So we learn how to also have that same trust in that inner knowing, like that inner call of, I need to quit my job, but I don't know why. I need to step onto this path, but I'm not sure. I just feel it inside, and really trusting that life has its own intelligence is taking us with it. And so the more we can surrender into that, the more aligned we can be in that soulful place. And then in the East, it's Apuchin, or the eagle or condor. They kind of are interchangeable. And it's all about becoming the conscious creators in our life, learning how to co-create. So you've gone through this process of shedding identifications, of shedding belief systems that don't work, and coming into a truer relationship with things, really connecting with your soul's calling so that you can now create from a very conscious, empowered place and feel supported in that co-creation with spirit, whatever that is. And so it's learning how to take that which isn't in form yet and bring it down and manifest it into form. So it's really beautiful. And then we connect with Pachamama because we're part of the earth and our allies here, the stone nations, the plant nations, the animals, the even like the mystical, like fairies. Like it depends on where you connect, but we connect there, and then we connect with great spirit, like the source that we've all come from and our galactic allies. And we recognize that we're all interconnected. So this year-long program you go through like personally, and you go through on this path of transformation to really transform something that's not working in your life to come out to where you feel empowered and in a more authentic place. It's a beautiful, beautiful path to walk. You can go through the medicine wheel as many times as you want. Each time it's different. It's kind of that artichoke thing, like you were talking, peeling back the layers. And I find that things like life works in a spiral, and we come in with these core woundings. We come in with like with the signature thing of what we want to work with. And it's usually like our core wound or the greatest thing that we have to work with, but our biggest gifts are there. The wisdom that our soul wants to cultivate is through that experience. And each time it comes up in our life, we are different. And so we can access a different way of working with it, a different perception around it, a different relationship to it. We can hold it in a different way so that we keep evolving. Oh, there goes my microphone. We keep evolving and changing to meet it. So it's just such a beautiful, beautiful path. Every part of me was like, this is fulfillment here. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I have so much gratitude for you sharing that with me. I feel this soul calling myself, listening to it, to explore it for myself. So I'm gonna have to definitely talk to you a little bit more about this afterwards. But that's so profound. And I can only imagine how your transformation unfolded from where you started to the end. I felt like I went on that journey with you as you explained all the different layers that you pulled back and these parts of the wheel that you explored. And how did taking this course, I feel like using the term course is very watered down, this experience, this transformation. How did you merge that with all the body work that you did to really allow your business and your purpose and what fulfills you to transform in that process?
I love this question because it just like it lights me up. Our bodies, so our bodies are just part of who we are. It's the physical aspect of our being, but we're also soul bodies, we're emotional bodies, we're mental bodies, we have an energetic field that make us up. And so the body is just, it stores the energy in a very dense way. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to the signs, to the messages. But when we're holding something in our body and it's disrupting life, it starts to get our attention. And typically, I find it's through like a chronic problem with pain, like something or dis-ease, right? Like something's not working. And so the body's getting our attention. And that's just one way. Sorry, this mic is driving me crazy. Obviously, I am not a tech person.
No problem.
um, so the body is just one way of accessing what needs to be worked with, but
Hmm.
it's a great doorway in. For some people, the body is the only way they're going to pay attention, that they're going to come in and see me, right? Like, I don't know why this keeps happening, this chronic thing. And like we talked about earlier, um, so working with the body for so many years as a massage therapist, I was feeling the energetics. I could see like the connections. I could feel it. And now with shamanic work, it's like, okay, now I have the tools to really help guide someone into their body so they can start connecting. And that's kind of that mind body connection. Is mindset is a beautiful, beautiful tool. And you can think all day long, and unless you embody it, nothing's going to change.
Yes.
And you can't embody something if there's a block in the body, a limiting belief, or I don't know, something held on a frequency emotional level, like a trauma or a wounding. Maybe I'll just hold this. A trauma or a wounding that's interfering, And so by working simultaneously with the body, we can release what's being held in the body so that we're then available to embody the higher frequency, the new way of being. And that's the integration work. The integration piece is, okay, now that I've cleared the block of the limiting belief, of the trauma, of the low frequency emotions that I've been holding, I'm now more available to pull in this high frequency of a gift that has always been me, but I was never available for it. Or a soul aspect that's ready to come in, that's always been a part of me, but it actually hasn't been in form yet. And so
Hmm.
it's like this amazing piece that we get to be human and we get to be in this body and work on these levels of just a deeper authentic expression,
Hmm.
and access that world, that frequency level.
Yes, this
Yeah.
message is very timely for me, so I appreciate you sharing this. And I was almost seeing this image of, in the personal development world and spiritual entrepreneurs, which is a lot of people that are listening, we go mind, to make the transformation. We take the actions, but sometimes in the process of the unfolding, there can be those roadblocks. And I was almost seeing this image of like, just like a sprinting frequency above the head, right? So
Yeah.
I love how you were saying as you clear, you're kind of integrating it into your body and it physically manifesting there, which I can only imagine, correct me if I'm wrong, that it helps with the manifestation of what it is that you want to create on the outside because there's that embodiment. I was like seeing this image of like Transformers, that
Mhm.
that transformation took place, which is so beautiful.
What I would say on that is, for me, the language is alignment. So
Mhm.
energy, it's like turning your radio dial to a certain frequency, right? When you are available for what it is you want, you have to you have to be that frequency for it to come in. And that's what the embodiment piece is. It's not holding something outside of us, it's actually becoming that. And it
Mhm.
sounds so cliche, but it actually is true. Like,
Mm.
unless we can really align in our bodies and hold that frequency, hold that vibration in our bodies, it's going to be a lot harder to pull it to us and manifest it in our lives.
Yeah. Yeah, totally makes sense. And if someone's listening and they're like, I've done the personal development work, I listen to podcasts, I read the book, I take the courses, I'm starting to unpack those limiting beliefs. They feel like they've done all the things, but they're wanting to take all of that they've cultivated in their mind and their belief work in like the logical part. And maybe they've played with the energetic because they are energetic.
Mhm.
What tangible steps do you feel like people could take to create that integration and create that alignment between like the mind and the body?
This is embodiment work. It's integration. It's a daily practice where when I'm in session with a client, at the end, there's always a gift that comes in, or there's a soul frequency that's coming in that's wanting to be embodied. So then you take it into a daily practice where you sit with that and you let it come into form in the way that you move, in the way that you talk, in the way that you um, even perceive things. And just like anything new, it's a practice. So
Mhm.
it's dedicated time of, say, um, sometimes it's like, what's a good one to share? It's a mantra that's coming in a quality that I want to embody. So I would offer to the client, I am is a very powerful creative statement. So say it's I am softening. I am receiving. I am open to receive life. This is personal for me. I'm open to receive life, trusting that life is always showing up for me. And then I would feel into my body if there's anywhere that's resistance,
Okay.
bring my attention there. And there's a lot of different tools, but right now what's coming is tapping. So I'm going to tap on that part, like my solar plexus. I feel like, yeah, I can feel that up here, but it's not landing here. So I'm going to tap on this part and then I'll say it again. I am receiving. I am opening. I am softening. I am worthy to receive. And that's the word that came up that was held here. I'm worthy to receive life. Worthy to receive abundance. I'm worthy. And just like practicing this new way of being. And then when something comes where that gets triggered or that old pattern could be activated, I have a tool and I can just start tapping and reminding myself, activating it within. Oh, yeah, I can receive this. I can trust life. I am worthy to receive. Life is working for me, whatever it is. So
Mhm.
that's just a quick example. But every session that we go, like I have with someone, there's always an embodiment practice that they leave with, that they can go do on their own. And just like you would with meditation or with yoga or anything new, it takes time, it takes
Mhm.
attention, it takes a willingness to really activate it in yourself and put it into the way you move into the world. That's the embodiment piece. um, and then being gentle, a lot of these things are really deeply ingrained patterns, and it takes a minute sometimes to really shift, and sometimes it can be that quick. And so just meeting yourself where you're at with a lot of grace and compassion, and the more you see where the old pattern comes up and you make a conscious choice of, oh, yeah, this thing, I'm not going to go the way I used to. I'm actually going to choose this. You're creating that new pathway of a behavior that is anchoring it in the new way of being. So that would be kind of an example, just on the fly,
Yeah.
of what really is the change. It's embodiment work. It's how, if I were this, how would I move, sound, breathe? How would I talk to this person if I felt like I had a voice? How would I da 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 da? And you practice it in a controlled setting where it feels safe, so that when you get into the maybe highly charged thing, you can remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm going to try this on here. I'm going to step into it. I'm going to give myself permission to really embody that. So does that make sense?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And I love that practice that you shared. I just want to make sure I got all the steps right, if there is a step process to it, of coming up with like the mantra of that what you want to embody, saying it, tuning into your body, seeing if there's any resistance, and then tapping. So like literally just tapping.
So I would say, where do you feel the
Yeah,
resistance in your
yeah,
body? For me, it was solar plexus. Like,
yeah. So
oh,
tapping there.
like those words don't feel true in this part of my body.
Hmm.
And so that's where I'd start tapping, and I would say that mantra, that affirmation. And the
Mhm,
tapping just helps to move it into your body. It helps to anchor it into that part.
mhm,
This is a part we didn't talk about, but we have an energetic anatomy, which is our chakras that most of us in the West have identified with. And so you're accessing that solar plexus chakra, which is your power.
mhm,
Also, sometimes when we get out of alignment with power, we're not open to receiving other people. And so
mhm.
that's probably why I felt that resistance there. So tapping there helps me soften. Ah, okay, now I can receive what's coming to me using my own discernment and being empowered through that.
I love
So
that.
that's like, there's so many different embodiment
Yeah.
examples, but that is one that you could work with. But what's fun is I've created these integration packages because I've found that if nothing changes, nothing changes, right? And we can go have an experience and it can be this amazing thing. And
Mhm,
then we go back to our life and life just kind of picks up the old pace. Think nothing really changes. And
mhm,
so, like we've talked about, integration's really that piece. And sometimes when it's something new or it's really deep, it can be challenging. And as we start to shift, things can come up that are kind of triggering and challenging. So these healing integration packages are designed to support whoever I'm working with on a weekly basis with integration tools, with a weekly meetup where, okay, let's chat about what's going on. How can we shift this, or what needs to be addressed? So it's just like taking the session and stretching it out with support over. I have two packages. One's a month long, and then one's a 3 month long. The 3 month long comes with a few more things than that, but it's like getting all this really cool tools and then a guide to help you implement it, especially if it's something new and you're not a healer. It's new language, it's new technology, and you're like, I don't know what to do with this, or you feel intimidated. It's just having a guide. I would be the guide to help you embody this new frequency. So,
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. So if anyone's interested in exploring this more and learning more about them, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, I would say come to my website. It's munaiplace.com. And at the very top, you can book a free call with me and we can just chat and see if it's a good fit, if it's something that you really, and I really invite people to trust your own wisdom, trust what you'll feel it in your body. If we're a good match, you'll feel it in your body. You'll be lit up, or you might be like a little scared, but there's just that truth that's there.
Mhm.
And book a call and we can chat and kind of see if it's a good fit, if this is something that is being asked for in your life. If and every healer practitioner has different things, different tools, and so we're drawn to the people that have something to us. So if you feel, excited to work with me, go to my website and book a free call. Let's chat and we can see what the best way to proceed is, what that looks like for you.
I love that. We're going to leave the links in the show notes to your website. And know you have a few social media platforms to connect with people with. So we're going to leave that as well. Thank you so much. I've just learned so much from you listening to you share all your wisdom with us. So thank you so much for being here. I really, really appreciate you and all that you're doing for the world. So thank you.
Oh.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I'll upload a new video on Thursday. See you in the next one. Bye.